Well, with more on the situation in the Eastern Mediterranean and then America's role in resolving the crisis, we're joined now by Ian Lesser, Vice President of the German Marshall Fund. Thank you very much for speaking to us. So the US is still really a major player in NATO affairs in Europe, but Washington has not been as engaged as maybe it has been in the past. How important is it for Washington that Athens and Ankara stay on good terms?
Well, it's a historic concern for the United States. Many years ago, when this was also a very hot issue between Greece and Turkey, the United States was absolutely critical to resolving the crisis at times that were really very dangerous back in the late 1990s. There's been a détente, a relaxation between Greece and Turkey since then, but the United States has a key interest in making sure that NATO remains functional still, despite some of the disengagement you've mentioned, and having Greece and Turkey at least on reasonably good terms is critical to that. Otherwise, it's a huge problem for the NATO alliance, and the only beneficiaries, frankly, would really be Moscow. So the Secretary's visit has that context.
Now, part of Mike Pompeo's visit is he's seeking to relocate key American assets from this base in Turkey to then move it to Crete instead. Will that happen, and what would the implications be if that does go ahead?
The United States has had this base in Crete. It's a Greek base, of course, but the Greeks let us use it for many, many years. And in recent years, we've been making more and more use of it. In fact, the whole defense and security cooperation relationship with Greece is now very close, better than it's ever been. It started under the previous two governments in the United States and in Greece, actually, and it's continued. It's become a feature of America's policy in the Eastern Mediterranean, precisely because there are these concerns about the relationship with Turkey as a NATO ally, the reliability of the security relationship with Turkey. There are many points of friction with Ankara today. So it's not surprising that the Secretary would want to underscore that aspect of American policy, to do more with Greece as a hedge against a difficult relationship with Turkey.
And what about other tricky relationships? How much has the crisis in the Eastern Med really provided an opportunity for Russia to exploit the situation, and how worried are the US about that?
Well, I think the United States is probably very worried about that, both in its relationship with Greece and also with Cyprus, where, there is a long-standing Russian relationship. It's everything from tourism to the economy, but also other things. So as the relationship with Russia has become more difficult, there is this Eastern Mediterranean dimension as well. I'm sure Moscow would not be displeased to see more dissent, more friction inside NATO, but even that probably has limits. I don't think anyone wants to see this come to the point of a conflict in the Eastern Mediterranean, because Russia would have a lot to lose from that as well.
Thank you very much for speaking to us. Ian Lesser, Vice President of the German Marshall Fund. Appreciate your analysis.